Hi there. Welcome to the 30. This is Patrick, your host for tonight. I want to welcome you once again on another Thursday evening, Thursday night, wherever you are, maybe Friday or maybe Wednesday. But anyhow, welcome. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, this is the 30. We do this every week where we focus on conversations relating to business, entrepreneurship, leadership, as well as training and development. We invite various guests to come on into the studio, virtually, of course, online, and we have an excellent conversation with them for 30 minutes. So, again, if this is your first time, we want to welcome you. If you have seen this show multiple times, again, welcome to the 30. This evening, I have a special guest, young man. I think he's younger than me. Maybe he's around my age. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. He is president of FullScope Sports and the ATL. That's outside of Atlanta, Georgia. The ATL, as you know, is known as Atlanta, but his business is positioned outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And we want to talk with him about what the business does, how did he get it started, his motivation. So we have a lot of questions that we have for him. His name is Bobby Young. And before I bring him in, I want to make sure that if you have any questions for Bobby, any comments, please drop them in a comments field, and I'll be happy to put them up on screen, and Bobby will be happy to answer them. So I'm going to bring Bobby in. Bobby, welcome to the 30.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you for having me.
So, Bobby, you are, as we said, president of FullScope Sports Incorporated. It's right there on the screen. Tell us a little bit about you and the business, your family.
Okay.
Start us off.
Okay. I'm Bobby Young with FullScope Sports. I live in Smyrna, Georgia, about 3 miles outside of Fulton County. So we live in the metro Atlanta area. So when people say, where are you from? I say Atlanta because no one has heard of Smyrna. Some people call it Smyrna. I am a father of one 6-year-old. I'm married, been happily married for 14 years. My wife is in the real estate industry. Been here. I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama, but I've been here in Atlanta for about 25 years. And someone always told me, if you've been here longer than 3 years, you can just say you're from Atlanta. So I tell people I'm from Atlanta now, Patrick.
Okay. All right. So you're from the ATL.
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Now, you are president of FullScope Sports.
Correct.
What is FullScope Sports? What do you guys do? So let's start there, and then I have some follow-up questions I'd like to ask you.
Okay. Well, FullScope Sports is what I call a hybrid. And when you think of a hybrid, you think of a car. You think of something that does two things, like a car runs off gas and also electric. So FullScope Sport is a hybrid. We are a sporting good and running store. And when I say running store, you're preparing for a 10K, a 5K, if you're a heavy walker, if you're doing a triathlon, you come into our store. We have all the equipment there. We have the name brand sneakers that you would wear. We have apparel. We have the nutrition that does endurance races. We also have electronics. But on the other side of our house, Patrick, we have sporting goods. And the sporting goods kind of started the FullScope Sports. I am a local Little League baseball coach here in Smyrna. I've been coaching at the park for about 12 years. And it kind of came out of that. I wanted to bring to the park something that kids could come in. If they need a batting glove, they needed bats, they needed sneakers, or they needed gloves cleats to play in. So FullScope Sports is a combination of sporting goods and run specialty. It's the first run specialty store or running store in Smyrna, Georgia. And I'm thinking I am the only minority owner of a sporting goods store in the state of Georgia.
Oh, wow. That says a lot right there.
Yes. Yes.
So how long have FullScope Sports been in operation?
FullScope Sports have been operable for about 3 years. We
Okay.
started out online and attending major, I guess, travel ball tournaments. If you go to a big tournament where your son or your daughter play travel baseball or softball, we will set up a vendor table. So we'll do a pop-up shop there. And it started there because of the fact that as a coach, I will go to games, I might need balls, or I might have a kid that left his athletic trainer at home. So I need to pick it up quickly. So it kind of blossom out of that, and I start to go to the events and sell product at the events. But the way FullScope Sports, the retail store, came about is people would ask when I'm at the store. I mean, when I'm at the events, do I have a retail store? Do you have a retail store? Can we come shop with you?
Mm.
And for the first I would say first year and a half to 2 years, I didn't have a retail store. So I sat down with my wife and we had a conversation, and I went into prayer about it, and we opened a retail store. So the retail store opened on March the 7th, and we closed on March the 13th, Patrick, because of COVID-19.
Wow. I
Yes,
saw that online too. I saw where your wife had posted on Facebook in terms of the grand opening, and then all of a sudden, 6 days later,
yes,
you closed.
yes, yes, yes.
So so let's talk about that. How did you survive during this time?
During the time, with me first opening, I did set aside, anywhere from 6 to 8 months of capital just in case I did make a sale for the first 8 months. So that kind of helped me through it. So it was, I was in a good situation with that. But on May 30th, we reopened the store. The state
Okay.
of Georgia allowed us to allow customers to come in with their, if they were face covered, and we cleaned the store really well. So from that, we began to pick up our customers again. But during that time, Patrick, I was trying to figure out a way how we could reach our customer base when the store was closed,
Mm-hmm.
or when we wasn't open for retail. So what kind of came out of that, we had our online store. We also sell on Amazon. But during that time, again, I have a conversation with my wife. I always say if she wasn't my wife, she'd be my business partner, because that's the way we talk about things. We decided to go in and buy some capital equipment. We wanted to buy an embroidery machine, being able to screen print, being able to call on businesses in the local area that had to be open or was essential, and they might needed a uniform, or they might needed a hat for a team that went out and did electrical work or something of that nature. So what came out of COVID is actually an opportunity for us to have another line of business in our store, out of our store. We also do custom baseball or softball or football jerseys, and we can do things like a family reunion shirts and things of that nature. But that came out of COVID because of the fact that we had some downtime and was looking at ways to just take our business to the next level while we could.
That's good. And I've heard so many times or things about entrepreneurs, small businesses opening up during a pandemic or during a shutdown.
Hmm.
And you are actually one example of being creative and pivoting and adding something else
Yes,
to the
yes,
mix.
yes, yes. And what happened was right before we shut down, I had a coach come in and say, Bobby, I like to get my team practice jerseys or jerseys when they're not in their game jerseys. And he's like, do you do anything of that nature? And that, unfortunately, I had to say, no, I don't do that.
Okay.
But during that time, like I said, we had the conversation. It was like, maybe we need to look at venturing it out and doing something that's not require people to come into a retail store. So with that being said, if somebody is in California, Patrick, or New York or Wisconsin, and they needed, shirts embroidered or hats embroidered or anything like a backpack bag, we can put your embroidery or your logo on virtually anything, and we can ship it out to you. So now we were just now involving the local community. We was worldwide or throughout the country because we could do it right online, take the logo and do what they wanted us to do and ship it out to them.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. Awesome. So, Bobby, what did you do before uh, opening up FullScope Sports, and I know that we had talked previously yesterday about some other things that you were involved with. So what did you do before?
Um, Prior to FullScope Sports, I was in corporate America for 25 years, Patrick. I was with some Fortune 500 companies. I was a pharmaceutical sales rep for Johnson and Johnson. I worked for HP for a number of years. But my last 10 years in corporate America, I worked for Garmin, a GPS company. And during that time, I called on the buyers of major accounts such as Hibbett's. If you're here in Atlanta, or if you know anything about golf, the PGA Tour Superstore. We also called on some what we call mom and pops or some boutiques like a FullScope Sports. If you're aware of Fleet Feet or
Yep.
Big Peach Running, I called on those guys in my corporate days. So it was a great transition for me to go from corporate America to doing it for myself. And in that way, Patrick, it was exactly down my wheelhouse because of the fact that I just called on those people, and now I was being that person that people was calling on.
Awesome. Now, I know before this venture, you had another venture.
Yes.
All right.
So
Tell us about that one.
Okay.
And what were some of the lessons learned?
Wow. Yes. So I've been an entrepreneur for about 10 years.
Awesome.
And I say entrepreneur because of the fact that during the time I was in corporate, and what people are talking about now, they call it a side hustle, or they do some outside of their corporate job. So I was doing, I started a company, and my wife and I, we started a yogurt ice cream shop. It was called Sub-Zero. It did really well during the times when that was really hot. People probably know us, the type of venue was like a Menchie's or a Pinkberry or Yogli Mogli in some parts of the country. So what we did, we started a mom and pop that was not a franchise right in our community called Sub-Zero. We had 12 flavors of yogurt. You come in, you put the toppings on, we weighed you and you paid, and it was a great opportunity. So, and it was a great opportunity, Patrick, as we spoke. I never made a profit on it, but just being in the community, being a coach, I would have kids come by and talk and say, Coach, I came by your yoga shop and things of that nature. But what was really compelling, Patrick, and I didn't share with you this story, but I can remember I used to have a customer would come in every Wednesday, and he and his wife was in the store one day, and they had got their yoga, and they sat down, and they were just having yoga. And another customer came in. She had probably a toddler in her arms, maybe one and a half. It was her and her husband, and they got yogurt, and they paid for it, and they sat down at the table. But at the table, the lady began to weep. And we was like, wow, what's going on? So she gets up out of her chair. She walks over to the gentleman that was sitting with his wife, and she said, you don't remember me, do you? And he said, no, ma'am, I don't. She said, you saved my baby life.
Wow.
And he was a pediatrician cardiologist. And at that point, I say, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing it in the right place, even if I'm not making money. And that family had never seen that doctor before then until they saw each other at my yoga shop.
Wow. What a blessing.
Yes.
What a blessing.
Yes.
So that prepared you for this.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you're in a very competitive industry.
Yes.
And then as a Black man, president of this store, wow.
Yes.
So how are you doing? Tell our viewers, how is FullScope Sports doing? And then how are you doing it?
Okay, great question. FullScope Sports is doing well. I won't say we're doing as good as we did if it hadn't been for COVID, but we are moving in the right direction. We are increasing month after month. But what we're doing now is little things that just what I call, as a sports fan, blocking and tackling, Patrick. We're doing the little things. After a customer come out of the store, we wait 3 or 4 days, and we'll call them back and ask them how was their experience. We want people to walk in our store and feel like they are the only customer that we have.
Nice.
And that has done wonders. Also, partnering with the local Little League that I coach at. I sponsor a softball team at the local high school, a soccer team at the local high school. But at the end of the day, it's about people, about my community, about growing and showing people that it can be done even if you're not supposed to be doing it.
Absolutely. And you're showing your daughter
Yes, yes,
that is
yes,
possible,
yes, yes,
and
yes,
others like her
yes,
that is possible.
yes, yes,
So all that is tremendously positive. So
yes.
I salute you in terms of your efforts and what you're doing. Now I know your wife because we worked previously, and I know she has a passion for customer service and
Yes,
service as a whole. So
yes,
uh, I I have no doubt that you guys will continue to succeed.
yes.
Um, let's talk about some of the highs and lows, Bobby, that you've
Okay,
experienced as an entrepreneur,
okay.
because people think that you get in business. Most people says, "Well, I want to be in business."
Yes,
There's a difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur.
yes,
Entrepreneur, I say, take more risk,
yes.
right? Because you never know how it's going to turn out.
You're
More
correct.
of a business person, you're here dabbling here and there, but you're
Yes,
not taking that full risk. So
correct.
let's talk about some of the highs and lows of an entrepreneur like yourself.
Okay. The highs is that I was able to walk away from a six-figure income at a major company to start my own business.
Hmm.
Um, and I tell people all the time, I have not missed one day that I've left corporate America. Now, don't get me wrong, I've missed those checks every 2 weeks.
Amen to that. Yeah. Yes,
But
yes, yes.
yes, but I have not missed the corporate environment, being able to do it the way I want to do it and do it correctly because of the fact that I was doing it for someone else's company and now I can do it for myself. So that's the high. Probably the low is I would say the ability to enter this marketplace.
Hmm. Hmm.
So many small businesses being minorities or black owned or any just to come into the space, it can be very competitive, like you mentioned. But also, there's a lot of politics behind it, Patrick, because of the fact that if there are three other run specialty stores or what we call running stores in the area, and there are some vendors that don't want to come into my store because they have a great relationship with another store.
Got it.
So I wasn't expecting that. I thought everybody will allow me to sell their products and want to
Mm.
come in, but there are two that I won't put them on blast that are major players in the run industry that would
Hmm.
not allow me to sell their product because they felt as if there was someone so close to me. But it wasn't the case because as a Garmin representative, when I was a regional sales manager with Garmin, I had stores within 6 miles of each other, and they did well. They just operated. They went out to a different customer base. The same here. I'm not. I'm 12 to 15 miles from the nearest run specialty store or sporting goods store. But that was probably one of the big lows that I've learned is, that everybody's not in your corner. Not
Right.
everybody's going to give you their blessing. And also, just like I said, the point of entry, being able to finance your opportunities or your business. So many people get into it and don't know, how they're going to make ends meet, but you have to just prepare. People always say you have to have a business plan. I don't necessarily think you have to have a business plan. You just have to be able to maneuver it and be able to get through it and make things happen.
Good, good. Now, Full Scope is not a franchise. Is
Correct.
this is yours,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So,
And I don't believe in paying a marketing fee for something that I can do. I mean, with Facebook and social media and being able to get someone to put me in an ad, most franchises you're paying anywhere from 2 to 12% monthly, no matter
mm,
what you make. So I just felt that it was a great opportunity coming from this industry for me to do it on my own and just go after what I wanted.
good. Now, I have a message here from Jill. Jill says, "I am in your corner."
It is so ironic. Hi, Jill. How are you? I know Jill personally.
Okay.
I coached both of her sons at Smyrna Little League, and Jill is such a motivative person. Jill was one of my team moms, and I always tell this story. She is such a supporter. Her and Dan both, they visit the store. So, Jill, I thank you for listening in, and she is a heaven sent, Patrick. She's a great person. Her and her family, her whole family, is just like my an extension of my family.
Good, good. And she says hello.
Yes,
And then we have another person here, Jenny Kim. Let's see what Jenny says. She says, yes, go after what you want.
yes. Hi, Jenny. Jenny was a prior neighbor.
Okay.
Jenny is indirectly my CFO.
Okay. Okay.
So whenever I need to a high level finance is and Jenny, that's her every day. That's what she does, and it's just so often she's giving me direction. She's giving me positive thoughts and things of that nature. So Jenny, thank you very much.
There you go. It's
Yeah.
always good to have what I call, and we've been doing a series called strategic partners or strategic partnerships.
Yes.
And no business person, especially a small business person, can operate within a vacuum
Yes.
on their own. You have to have strategic partners or partnerships where you help each other. And I'm glad to see that you have your CFO
Yes.
and and your cheering
Yeah. Yes.
section.
Yes.
Here is someone that is one of my strategic partners, and I'll tell you about her in a moment. And she says here, this is Cindy Ray. It's refreshing to hear you go after what you want, and I applaud your positive attitude.
Well, I thank you. I thank you. And my thing, like Jill and Jenny, just surrounding myself with the positive people.
Sure.
I want to give a shout out to Jill and the Peterson Partners. That's who my wife worked for. They are a great real estate company here locally.
Awesome.
They are Berkshire Hathaway. And like I said, they support regardless if I was doing, FullScope Sports or I was selling water to the local baseball team. That is just the community, the tribe, what we call it, that I have around us and the friends that we have, Patrick.
That's good. That's excellent. So we got I would say about 6-7 minutes left here. What advice can you give to entrepreneurs or small business owners who have a dream of owning their own, doing their own thing, but afraid of stepping out?
Patrick, I don't want to take it from Nike, but I just say just do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's never the right time. It's never going to be the right time. So you just have to jump out there and do it. And with prayer and with a strategic plan and with the right network of people, make it work. It will never start if you don't take that jump. So
Sure.
I would say just do it. Talk with people that have done it before. Talk with people that do it in another industry, but just get around the right people, ask the right questions, and make it happen. And what I learned from it is that probably one thing that I live with every day, and I'll leave this always saying, you can't plant it today and expect a fruit tomorrow. It's
Mm-hmm.
a slow process.
That's
We
right.
have to crawl before we walk. And that's probably the biggest thing that entrepreneurs think that it's just going to happen tomorrow. I speak of Jill. I can remember when Jill was my mom. I mean, my team mom. She's been doing this for a long time, but I can just remember her just saying, "Keep doing it, keep going in the right direction, and things will happen for you."
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, Jill, if you want to be on this show, just hit me up. I'd love to chat with you. So make sure that you send me an email or some kind of connect so that we can chat and talk more about what you do and your influence over Bobby and
Yes.
Heather.
Yes.
So if you were to do it all over again, Bobby, what would you do differently? Or would you do anything differently?
I would say if I had to do it all over again, I would have did this 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why?
Just because of the fact that I had that hunter mentality, I would say 10 years ago. Now I consider myself more as a farmer. I have a general manager in the store. I'm having someone to come in and start to work on the embroidery side of the business. So I try to scale it up while working from the top down. I would say 10 years ago, I would probably start a outside sales team. I would have been so much ahead of everyone else because I had done it before. But other than that, Patrick, I wouldn't change everything. I think everything that I've learned has been a lesson. Everything that I've gone through have taught me what not to do or what to do.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm going to put one more up here. If I don't put this up, I probably will not be allowed in the building on Sunday. So this is my co-pastor here. So awesome. So good. Awesome nuggets to apply. So that's my co-pastor, Pastor Tina. So, I got to make sure I put that up right.
Yeah. Pastor Tina, thank you for that, because of the fact that, so many people ask that question, what can we do different, or what nugget? I just keep it very simple and just treat everybody every day like I want to be treated. And, I pray about it. I got God first. I'm a praying man, and just make it happen.
Awesome. Good. Now, in the back of you,
yes,
I see some Greek letters.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that. And I know my dear friend, Elder Ken, he's probably beaming all over. So tell me about that and tell our viewers about the Greek letters back there.
The Greek letters is Kappa Alpha Psi. It is one of the 9 divine of historical Black Greek letter fraternities. I pledged spring '89 at Alabama State University, where they say Beta Zeta, that's none greater. And with the Ka Psi next to me, that's another network of brothers that I have behind me, Patrick. We all know the Johnny Cochrans of the world. We all know the names that put out there, but those guys that pledge on a daily basis and just support, and just our fundamental purpose is achievement. And it started there back in 1989. We try to achieve in every endeavor that we take ourselves into.
Okay, good. Bobby, is there, as we close, are there any closing words that you'd like to tell our audience? Because we'll have them, they're watching live, but this will also be on replay, both on Facebook as well as YouTube. Are there any parting words?
I would say my parting words is that if you want to go in business, if you have that entrepreneurial spirit, just do it. Just go out and do it. It's never going to be the perfect time, so it's the perfect time is to start now. The next thing is surround yourself with a network of people that's in your corner, people that you can talk to at 2 a.m, people that's going to ask you to come on their show like you, Patrick. Those are the type things that support the business on this side. And as I said, just understand it doesn't happen overnight. Mm-hmm. Plant those seeds and expect fruit, but it's not going to be fruit tomorrow.
Right. Good job. Let me just see if I can share my screen here as we end, because I want everyone to see exactly what your store looks like here. So let's try to. So tell me about this, Bobby. First and foremost, what is your why? FullScope Sports.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if you notice, Patrick, at the bottom of those are several all-star teams and teams I've coached over the years. And this is why FullScope started. It's because of the fact that the passion, the coaching in the community, and it's kind of cool to see kids come in there. They'll see their older brother, or they'll see a neighbor come in and see that and say, wow, you've been doing this a long time. It makes me feel a little bit old sometimes, Patrick, but this is my why.
There you go.
I do it for the community and love the kids that come through our program.
And then this is the location here, right?
Yes. We're located at 1270 Concord Road in the heart of Smyrna, Georgia. Our website is FullScopeSports.com. Our IG or Instagram is FullScope Sports 1. We're on YouTube. We're on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, and we would love for people to go out and follow us. We do something positive every day, talking about how we can help in your fitness or in your sports life. But please follow us at FullScopeSports.com.
All right, Bobby, I want to thank you so very much. This has been great. It's been enlightened. I am enlightened. I feel energized.
Thank
I'm
you.
ready to go out there and do something
Yes.
else from an entrepreneurship standpoint
Yes.
because you've you've brought it.
Yes. Well, I
You've brought it.
appreciate it. Thank
So
you.
thank you so very much. Thank you for your in terms of your wife. I pray success both professionally and personally.
Thank you. Thank you, Patrick, and thank you for having me on the show. God bless you, man. Thank
God
you.
bless you too. All
Yeah.
right. Thanks, Bobby. So we were talking with Bobby Young, who's the president of FullScope Sports and the ATL. If you would like to be on the show, just drop me a line, a comment. I'm going to put our email address up now. It is info@jackmangroupllc.com. You can check our website, jackmangroupllc.com. And then the email again is info@jackmangroupllc.com. We'd like to hear from you. We'd like to have you on. And if there's any topics that you'd like for us to cover, also drop me a line, whether in the comments field or email. So thank you so much. I hope that you got something from Bobby, especially for entrepreneurs and business persons. Again, just as Bobby said, just do it. Don't be afraid. Step out on faith and just get it done. So as we say goodbye to you, this is from C-Rays. Goodbye. May God bless you and bless your family. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.